Welcome to this week's episode of the Inside Kingston Podcast, where experienced professionals, entrepreneurs, and community leaders based in Kingston upon Thames are invited on to share their story with us. I'm your host, Amyr Rocha-Lima.
This week's episode of the Inside Kingston Podcast is brought to you by Holland Hahn and Wills, a financial planning and wealth management firm based in Kingston upon Thames. Holland Hahn and Wills specialises in retirement planning for senior professionals and successful business owners. Visit hhw-uk.com to start feeling more relaxed and confident about your financial future.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Inside Kingston Podcast. I'm joined today by Emre Arslanturk. Emre and his wife Elif are the founders of Cakewalk Patisserie and Coffee House. What's unique about Emre and Elif is how they leverage over 20 years' experience in five-star hotels and resorts around the world to bring their customers here in Kingston a truly five-star service. And be sure to listen to the end, where Emre shares with us why it's so important to put the customer at the centre of your business. So whether you're interested in knowing more about cakes, patisserie and coffee, or would like to know more about what it takes to run a successful independent business, then I hope you enjoy this episode of the Inside Kingston Podcast. Welcome, Emre and Elif Arslanturk, to the Inside Kingston Podcast. Emre and Elif, I'm really excited about this conversation because, well, not only am I a self-confessed foodie, and therefore speaking about food for me is always interesting and a lot of fun, but I also believe that our listeners can learn a lot from your expertise in running a successful small independent business locally here in our area. But to kick off this conversation, I'd like to go back in time if that's okay. So Emre and Elif, where did you guys grow up?
First of all, thank you for giving us a chance to be in your podcast, which we can obviously share with your viewers, where the Cakewalk story began and also where we come from. We are from originally from Istanbul, Turkey. We grew up in there, and back in 90s, we start our hospitality career in hotels. It's about 20 years hospitality career we have all together. And we work for Four Seasons hotels and resorts worldwide, Istanbul, Atlanta, London. So respectively, I worked 8 years with the group. And my wife worked about
18 years. Only Four Seasons hotel. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and afterwards, I changed the groups in London. So working with the Taj Hotels, Great Eastern Hotel, and Brown's Hotel. So our background is hospitality hotels. The story started in Istanbul. Basically.
That's fantastic. Well, this year I had a chance to visit Izmir in Turkey, and I'd never been to Turkey before. I've got to say, my wife and I and my kids, we loved it. We loved the food, fantastic. We loved the people, the beaches. It was great. So that's awesome. That's really cool. So that's really interesting that your whole career was in hospitality, and of course now you're a small business that, as the name says, is a patisserie and a coffee shop. So bringing this conversation to the present, could you tell us a little bit about your business today?
Today our business, obviously because of the COVID, we had lots of changes we made. But in the beginning, we start our business with reflecting our experience in five-star business in hotels to our own shop. It was our first startup business. So we choose Kingston because our friends and families were living around here, and we always loved to live in Kingston. And we found a small shop in Richmond Road. It was on let that time, and we were actually looking for a flat, but my wife found that shop accidentally. And then we thought like, oh, this is a really nice spot, and what we could do, and we start the Cakewalk back in 2000. Is that for 16? 2014. It's about 6 years, obviously.
That's fantastic. I love the way you mentioned there, Emre, that you obviously saw this store, or you did, Elif, and then it seems to me like your hospitality brains, both of your hospitality brains, just kicked in, because you look at something that otherwise to anybody else is an empty shop, and you think, "Gosh, what could we do with this?"
Exactly. In fact, it was very small. It is small shop, but we made magic with what we used inside. And the decoration, the design we made, it was just like perfect fit in. And we have a tiny kitchen, but with the tiny kitchen, she makes a magic there, because of our experience, we made it happen. Not the road was busy, but we obviously slowly drive the traffic within, because we were offering something that Kingston didn't have. Yeah. So sort of hotel kind of pastries, desserts and cakes and service.
And also,
in small cafe.
And also, we are Turkish. It's Turkish culture,
We are very hospitable, and as you can imagine, in Izmir, I'm sure
I got a chance to experience your hospitality. Yeah.
Yes. So that kind of we're born with that kind of skill. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the interesting thing is, Elif, for you, having worked for the Four Seasons Group as a patisserie chef for your whole career, or 18 years of your career at least, I wonder how you think about leveraging all of that expertise in a small business in Kingston. You can be now almost as creative as you want, I'm guessing, right?
I mean, I did all my experience in our shop, and it was our dream to open our shop, me and my husband together. And I mean, we really enjoyed it, but plus we did really hard work. Mean, when we work in a hotel, I mean, we had the 2 days off and other lots of benefits, and holidays, it's more than 45, 50 days in year. But here it's quite more difficult. It's first 4 years. I mean, we didn't use day off. It's like in a month, 1 day,
Yeah.
And we survived.
Well, I was going to say, I would say more than survived, Elif. To your credit, you guys have thrived, I'll say, because in checking, I wanted to double check this morning, so I did in preparation for this interview. You're still the #1 coffee and tea shop in Kingston upon Thames, as rated for by TripAdvisor. So all those years of not taking holidays and really leveraging your expertise into the shop is most definitely paying off dividends. And I think there's a lesson there, right? There's got to be an element of patience for our listeners who perhaps are thinking about leaving the corporate world and setting up a shop on their own, be it in the food industry or in any other industry. There's got to be an element of patience, right, Emre, to sort of see that project start gaining life.
Exactly. First of all, obviously, we would like to appreciate our customers and friends who support us when we put this idea in, and they share the the food loving that we offer to our customers. They enjoyed what we offer. And imagine if you would be in different location, maybe it wasn't maybe their type of food, etc. However, I think we really fit into place. Worked very hard in that 4 years. And we stay in the top places in TripAdvisor and Google reviews for a long time. And in one stage, we were number 4 in entire London in TripAdvisor. And also after they changed it, they put in localize, and we remain in that list quite some time. That's really hard work. It's just also our customers support us,
Yeah. Now, you mentioned there, Emre, that of course you come to this business with an element of DNA, right? It's just that the Turkish hospitality just seeps through. But put that to a side for a second. How does a small business owner like you think about the experience you want to give to your customers? How do you think about the tweaks or the things you want to offer that you think will enhance the experience? Again, I think our listeners can definitely learn from your expertise in this area, given that you obviously come from big hotel group experience down to a small business in Kingston.
Well, obviously, in hotels, we work with a big organization, big team. We work with a lot of chefs, a lot of staff, a lot of, support is there. When we left our jobs with my wife, we had a good positions in hotels and careers. We both left what we had and we had to build up again from the scratch on our own business. It was really totally, difficult experience in the beginning. It was also scary because you imagine you losing your income and you're just entering somewhere that you don't even have sort of done before. But thankfully, our experience, worked out. Two of us did very well, and we thought we offer something the customers don't have in High Street. That not everyone can go to Dorchester or Savoy Hotel to enjoy the service there, because is different.
We touch all the details and everything we remember. When they came second time or third time, we always remember whatever they like, So when I do the sandwich, for example, they don't like mayo, okay, record it here. So every time we keep it standard. So even when they are in the traffic light, and Emre see them,
I make their coffee ready the way they like. I was taking a risk. Maybe they might just walk off, but I'll drink the coffee. It's okay.
Yeah.
But the point is, they just they don't even need to ask what they want. We know what they like. So this also what she said is right. We really pay attention to details, because our success is within the attention to details, and to treat the others the way you want to be treated. This is the golden rule that we learned with Four Seasons University, I say, because Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, one of the best group in the world about hospitality. So sort of our young years, we really learned a lot.
With the Four Seasons. I start 17 and Emre 18. So we grew up with the
we did opening hotels and resorts. Obviously, we learned that culture with the group. So we put our own influence into it. But the golden rule is still the same. Treat the others the way you want to be treated. So that if you stick that and make people happy, they'll come back. Simple. So that's a straight business success for you.
Simple but not easy, Emre and Elif, and you guys are living that. You're living that truth. And I'll say there's something in what you said there which is super interesting. And I've heard this before from other people that I've interviewed here in the show who have started in a corporate career and then have moved into owning their own business. Listening to your customers. Exactly. Sometimes you're listening, exactly right, Elif. Sometimes it's listening to the body language. Makes a whole heap of difference. And I second that, having come from corporate life myself and now being a partner at a local business. Let me switch gears on you slightly, Emre, because you mentioned something at the top of our conversation, which I found was interesting, driving traffic right to your store. Well, nowadays, with the advent of social media, that's another way of getting people to know that you guys exist, and then obviously to attracting them to your products and your service. How do you think about the use of social media to attract people to your business?
I think it's very important. When we started our business, we started obviously leaflet distribution and the promotions within the surrounding area of the Kingston. And gradually, when we pick up the reviews, Google reviews and TripAdvisor, it did help us a lot. And today, we don't have to do so much advertisement because those two elements really kicked in. However, last, I think, 2-3 years, Instagram especially, if I may use the name, but it's become very, very popular. So we are looking forward for future to have investing more time, more energy into it, because we can clearly see that people following. And when they realize that we have a special of the week, special soup or the meal or whatever it is, they just come back and ask for that item, and we realize they're following. And it's like a very good interaction with the customers, and they just look in their own time. And if they like, they come back to you. I think it's a very important element, social media, especially Instagram at the moment.
Yeah,
Facebook also, and others, but I think Instagram is moving forward at the moment.
Absolutely. No, those are great tips.
Young generation.
But other old generation, they don't follow up. They don't know anything, but they do.
Word of mouth. Yes, word of mouth. That was our beginning in a way. So people go back to their friends, tell who we are, and then obviously other people come and tell each other. So this is how we grew up, and it took a long time because we didn't invest so much on advertisement. This was not really advertised itself, but it took us a long time to, build this. So I think
and also
that
some
4
people
years.
like old school. I mean, I'm old school, and they like that one. But young generation, not really.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, Elif, in terms of old school. I'll just quote that as sort of good business manners, right? Because we can be as pretty as we want on Instagram. If the client shows up and the product isn't good or the service isn't good, there's no point. So I guess what you're saying is having both, isn't it? It's attracting people, but then having the right business to be able to actually serve them in a way that makes them go, wow, actually, I want to come back. So that's fantastic.
It's like classic values that you keep, but modern service. You just need to twist that together, obviously,
I like that.
It needs to be like a modern, but also with the values that you need to really stick to it. So it's about making people happy. I think is very natural, but takes time, takes a lot of passion, and you might have a difficult times. We are like a show people, and show must go on, whether you're not happy or you're very tired or you're on the stage and you need to smile, you need to give that service, because it's direct effect in the customers. They want to come and chat with you. They can have anywhere coffee or cake. They can go somewhere else, but they just come to you not only for coffee, but your warm service, talk or chat.
And community.
And the community, yes.
That's it. Yeah, I like that a lot, and I appreciate you guys sharing those tips. Emre, how did you guys adapt, or in fact, how are you adapting to the impact that COVID has had on small business owners locally and around the world, of course?
Yes. Basically, in the beginning, when this unfortunate event started in March, we were worried because our business was already struggling with the Brexit issues and everything else. It wasn't really a good spark in the high street retail industry. It was, kind of decline stage. So, and when we see this COVID was coming, and we were, further worried because we thought we we're going to lose our business. But thankfully, our council and governments, helped us with the grants and other help. So we start thinking like, what can we do? What can we improve? How can we improve our business? We invested in business, and we made our internal seating a small market area, and we create our cafe as a cafe deli sort of concept with obviously patisserie as well. But we used to have a less sitting inside, and it was very small, tiny place. So we thought, because we cannot fit in place people because of the situation, you need to have a social distancing.
COVID, so that's why you're taking a big risk.
Therefore, we invest in the business furthermore, and we operate at the moment as a takeaway business, and we serve outdoor. We have a canopy outside with the heaters on at the moment, so people have enough space in between themselves. And we serve through the window if people like, so window service. And we let inside one family at a time, so they can do shopping in the market, small area, so where they can buy pasta, sauces, and the international cheese selection, cold cuts, cakes. So this was our sort of investment to make our business geared up for the new situation, and which was really, I think, good idea. People liked it, and it's working for us fine at the moment. So we lose some sitting inside, but we created something that people can buy today, essential food products and other things. They don't have to go to supermarket. Maybe they can just come in and have their eggs or pasta or daily items they can buy from us. So it was a difficult decision, because we were not sure if it's going to work. But you always in the business have to take a risk, and you have to adapt yourself within, and you have to be resourceful, flexible in business environment. And this obviously working in hotels teach us a lot, because in hotels you have to be flexible. You need to be everywhere when you need it. I mean, you need to be in reception, housekeeping, maybe helping the kitchen same time. So therefore, because we worked in hotels, this kind of flexibility, we already have it in our sort of skill set. And we put in a practice, and so far I think so good. So people enjoying these new changes.
What are some of the key business lessons you've learned throughout your life?
The business lessons, first of all, we always wanted to open our own business, but we never had that energy or sort of push to start our business, because always financial aspect was an issue. We didn't have enough of that side. But we realized that not only that, but if we could push a bit more, trust in something, you could make it happen. So when we open our business, we really use the loans and use the credit from our family and friends. And some people always encourage us. They said, you can do it. We can do it. And then we took that risk. That first step is very important. If someone wants to open a business, timing is very important, yes, and the location is very important. But you need to take that step, and you need to believe in that you can do that. And if you have enough power, like if you even fall and stand up again, you will fall, but you have to be knowing how to stand up again, and you will carry on. I mean, I have friends, they tried to open 6 businesses, they couldn't survive, but they kicked in 7th time, and they're now doing so well. So because they didn't give up. So I think first lesson is to having that power in you to open a business, be strong, sort of take a risk. And if you trust in yourself, you can make that happen. And don't give up. It takes time. It's not just the magic, it takes so much years. Another thing is, obviously, if you prepare with the financial a bit more, it will be much easier for yourself. I mean, you always have to have a sort of backup capital to sort of support your business. So that's what I learned. And I learned also, if you start in a location where you have more traffic, you might maybe saving more time rather than waiting maybe 3 or 4 years to establish. You could sort of start quickly. But because of the COVID change the situation, now this kind of our shops, like in a little bit of hidden way in between Kingston and Ham, or other places in the country, they're more popular now. I mean, people not going to Oxford Street or Nice Bridge now. They're going locally, because the city people working in their home in the neighborhood. So therefore, I think things changed a little bit. But before COVID, we had difficulty with the sort of location-wise. We worked very hard.
Especially last 2 years because of the Brexit.
Yeah.
It was quite a tough time now.
And because
it's ironic, isn't it, that there's opportunity and adversity.
It is, and we were very surprised the way the community supported us, the way people really supported small businesses, and we really picked up more businesses within those difficult times. It was difficult for us as well, but we clearly see that people support. So my advice to people, again, they should find the correct location is important. It should be financially doable as well. Obviously, if they're going to rent somewhere in Oxford Street, they have to be prepared to pay that high rent. But if they're maybe renting somewhere nice in Kingston or somewhere in Richmond, that's not so expensive, doable. They need to do their math and calculation. But in our business, traffic is very important. So either you're going to work so many years to build up the traffic like we did, or if you want to start quicker and taking a bigger risk, then you need to look for where to open.
Absolutely.
That's very important.
When you guys look at your career journey to date, what are you most proud of?
What are we most proud of? I think obviously we were very young when we got married 19 years ago, and we decided to come to London because we had a company transfer that time. I was working in Atlanta. She was in Istanbul, 4 Seasons. We got married and we got transferred to Canary Wharf, 4 Seasons Hotel. So when we took that decision, it was difficult because we got just married. We had not so much financial strength. We took a big risk, obviously. And we came to this country with very little money.
And we came like a naked fish.
We were like, it was difficult for us. And we checked the rents, so expensive it was. And it was so difficult. But what I'm proud of, we took that sort of risk again to move into this country and starting a new life. And we made it happen. And we worked here. We had a lot of experience, a lot of friends. And now we are in Kingston. We love Kingston. So we're proud that we made this happen. That's a 19 years journey in UK. And now we have a successful business, thriving, people really happy. They just meet and they become social, with distancing at the moment, but yes. So we are proud that we made that. I think we are a good team, husband and wife working together. In most cases is not easy, but in our case we are used to, because we are come from same background, and we are really good team. We team players, we are.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. What next for you and your business? Are there any projects in the pipeline that you can tell us about?
Now, because of the situation is uncertainties in the air, unfortunately. I don't want to say these kind of things, but it's not only me, everyone is saying. So worldwide, with the global situation, we don't know how much time is going to take to recover. Although during this kind of times, there will be always opportunities coming in terms of locations or things like that. So we could maybe consider another location perhaps. But this is all again the times. So I don't want to take a sort of risk at the moment, because try to do that with one business, you might lose that business. Try to open another business, you might lose the both. At the moment, I think time is to keep what you have. Try to not create more debt. Try to sort of be creative in what you have. So therefore, we're going to carry on serving our customers. And then take maybe future investment points towards maybe 2022. I don't know, but we need to sort of see our sort of clear skies. At the moment is a bit question marks.
Absolutely, but nonetheless, exciting times ahead.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure we can come out from this all together. So we, in fact, start a new charity work. One of our customer gave us idea that we created a board outside our shop, and basically people, any stranger, pay for someone else's coffee, and we post it and stick to that board. And if anybody in need or anybody wants to have a coffee, they can have free coffee. So we started in this charity work, and it says that we are all in this together, because we had difficult times for all of us, basically.
Absolutely. And I applaud you guys for that. And for our listeners, I urge you to check out Cakewalk's Instagram page, where you'll actually see a picture of that board. More importantly, go check out their store and you'll see that board, and pay a coffee forward to somebody that perhaps is finding themselves in a time of need at this moment. That's a really great idea.
Thank you. So the interesting point is we have really supported people around, and when we see this, we feel so excited. We don't see so many people using this coffees. We want them to, but obviously if they're not coming to us, we're going to go to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sandwiches and food. We're going to bring it to homeless people or shelters and other
Kingston Food Bank.
Kingston Food Banks and other charities. So we're going to use this coffee, obviously payments for a good cause. And in the past, we were also supporting the charity, Momentum charity, and also Kingston
Night Shelters.
Kingston Night Shelters, which last year we support them. They were given night shelters. Unfortunately, this year, because of the COVID, they cannot be able to do this service. We used to give them a food basically every week, and we would like to support those communities, those charities, because at the moment they're also in difficulty. So, and if people come with the idea, we try to help them as much as we can, because we need to support each other, and this is difficult times. So we are all in the same boat.
Absolutely.
Simply.
I second that. I definitely second that. As we start to wrap up, I'd like to ask you guys a few quick fire questions that our listeners are always interested in. So what do you guys do to relax outside of the office?
What do we do to relax?
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home. I'm with you, Elif. That's me too.
We are very fortunate to have living nearby riverside. So we go to Cambry Gardens, where we enjoy the walk there.
Park,
Richmond Park, we love. we've been there this morning.
We are not more like shopping people, we are not. And we like a quiet area and less people area.
Watching a lot on Netflix,
We'll definitely get to that, because I was going to say, are there any movies or TV shows you guys have recently watched that you would recommend to our listeners?
TV shows. I have a few names. I think I'm just trying to remember, because we're watching some Turkish series as well at the same time. There's some TV shows like Ertuğrul in Netflix that I would recommend. It was nice. And the movie we watched, Contagious, this movie with the COVID sort of connection. It was an interesting movie that we watched recently.
I second that, by the way. To any listener who wants to see fiction in reality, watch Contagion. You cannot but laugh that in 2016 or something, this movie is basically what is happening today. It's quite unreal.
Yes, and they didn't even mention the name. Just that's it. Rest everything we lived into that sort of story.
Yeah.
It was scary times, but other than that, we try to enjoy our life here, and our home is really for us relaxation and enjoyment, because we also work with a lot of people, a lot of traffic, and in the day you just want to have a sort of relax. Either you have a walk or go to holidays, but at the moment we can't go to holidays. Time to time we take a holiday, go back home or seaside somewhere like a Bournemouth or somewhere in UK as well. So this is like what we do in our spare times.
That's fantastic. And where can people go to find out more about you and your business?
They can look in our website. Also, especially our Instagram page is very active. Is at Cakewalk Kingston is our Instagram page. Elif is very active on that, so we give day-to-day information. And if people like to contact us, they can email us on our website. There's a form there as well. So we obviously use a lot Instagram to inform customers about what we're doing new, what's happening around. So that's our sort of information line.
And for the benefit of our listeners, I'll make sure I add those resources to the show notes. Emre, Elif, thank you for joining us here on the Inside Kingston podcast. It's been a pleasure getting to know your story.
Thank you, Amyr. Thank you for giving us a chance to talk about our story in Cakewalk. And we'd like to thank our customers and friends and who support us on our journey 6 years. We came today.
And they believe us.
They believe us.
They trust us.
And we made it happen together. And we hope that, we pray that all together we will go through these difficult times as well.
Absolutely. This too shall pass. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
That wraps up another episode of the Inside Kingston podcast. Make sure to check out our guests' website, pay them a visit, and help spread the word about what they're doing. If you have any questions or know someone who should be a guest on the show, please feel free to get in touch. I would also love it if you could go to iTunes and leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We work hard to bring on some great guests, and getting a review from you is one way to help the podcast rate well on iTunes so that others can find and enjoy the show too. Thanks for listening.